Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Thank you for joining us for another episode of GSC's Girl Pod. It's me, Candy. Hello, and I am joined by the lovely and dangerous, so make sure you don't cross her, Lady V. How you doing today, V?
I'm very well, thank you. Lovely to be back after our
Yeah.
trip to London Game Fest. I have missed GoPod and I've missed you, so I'm glad to be back.
I know, and if you've listened to the past episodes of Girl Pod, you know that we did a bit of a backlog, and now we are all out of our backlog. We have no more backlog. So you heard the episode with us about The Sims. We did our Overwatch special. If you haven't gone back and watched that, you should go back and watch that. And then also let us know other games you want to see us play that we'll play together. But if you're tuning in for the first time and you're like, I didn't know you had a backlog and now don't have one, that's cool. There's plenty of backlog for you to listen to. But we just hope this isn't the last time you tune in. Each episode, we are going to be talking about gaming adjacent things, and honestly, whatever comes to mind. We're just making more space for female and female presenting gamers. And I think that's what we do best. But before we really dive in, if you're not already following the channel, make sure to click the subscribe button. You'll also get the weekly news podcast if you are watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to this on Spotify, then make sure you also check out the Gamer Social Club weekly news podcast. They have their own little channel that you can follow to get all the news with Harry, the boys, and B. And if you need more of us for whatever reason, which I hope you do, make sure you check out gamersocialclub.ca. That's the site we write for. There's editorials, guides, news, reviews written for gamers, by gamers. And of course, you can join us in the Discord, where sometimes we hang out, play games, show things off, and generally just ramble about whatever is on our minds that day.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of rambling. There's so much rambling.
Literally. And you will find things about emulations. You will find different people talking about hardware that is out there. Maybe we're talking a little smack about some of these game corporations. You know, just whatever floats our boat that day. Unfiltered, uncensored, just what's on our minds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't really pull any punches on the podcast, to be honest, because I feel like if you are interested in what the actual gaming experience is, you shouldn't not necessarily not send people things. Like, I know getting codes and stuff like that is a privilege, which I very much appreciate. But yeah, you can only improve with constructive criticism. So if you are trying to not take any criticism at all, then you're going to start making rubbish products, in my opinion. So yeah, you're not going to find us taking money or anything like that to talk about things positively. And you're also, we do have a review score policy. There's been loads of stuff online. Well, I've seen at the moment about what is a 7 out of 10. We discussed it a little bit on the news podcast this week, but we have a review score policy. If you're unsure what any of our reviews mean, you can check it. 7 is good.
Yeah.
For us. And we will not shy away from giving stuff that we kind of enjoyed, but we appreciate has bugs and stuff like that. 5s and 6s. Like, this is not things are scaled up towards the top end of the scale. I love 6 out of 10 games. I love 7 out of 10 games. I enjoy a few 5 out of 10 games. Like, unless you're so broken that you're crashing my PC.
Yeah.
And then I'm generally having an all right time. Like,
yeah, and I think we talked about this on one of the past podcasts too, where it was like, the 7 out of 10s, the 8 out of 10s, the 6 out of 10s, those are normally the games that, like, you go back and replay. Sometimes those masterpiece games, the 10 out of 10s, and again, depending on the genre, because obviously roguelikes and things like that, a little bit different. Your racing games, different. But those 10 out of 10, sometimes you have your time with them and they're a masterpiece, and then they sit on the shelf and, like, that's it. Yeah. So 7 out of 10 is not a bad score, not a bad place to be. Maybe a 5 out of 10, a 4 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, wait for some patches. Oh, there's not any patches. I might not go back to it. But yeah, and I mean, we have definitely talked about this before, but I would struggle to categorize very many games I've ever played as like a 10 out of 10. They might personally be a 10 out of 10 for me, Like it was specific, those sorts of games that feel like they were made just for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I struggle. I know not everybody struggles to consider things like a masterpiece or a 10 out of 10. But I'm like, ooh, like a 10 out of 10 for me is like the feeling that I got the first time I saw like Michelangelo's David. Like I'm like, damn. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
this is breathtaking. This is spectacular. This is like I have to stop and think about this and look at it and just take it in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's loads of games that I love, loads of games that are really close to that, but not a huge amount of games that I think are like, fuck me, I can't believe that I got to experience this as a person. Like,
That is so valid. So valid. Yeah. I think I said it on the previous episode where we talked about it. Like for me, that was the Persona 5. That's like my 10 out of 10. You know, and I mean that game came out 2016 or something like that, right? So you're talking 10 years ago, and I have not put another game in the 10 out of 10 category since then.
No.
So hard to come by, but also, am I gonna go back and play it again? Probably not. But it was important enough to me to put the characters on my wedding cake, right? So like,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, 7 out of 10's good. 6 out of 10 depending on the game and the genre. Maybe you're still like, this is fine, this is good, it's enjoyable. I feel like it's the 5 and belows that I'm like, I don't know that in good consciousness I could tell someone give it a shot.
Yeah, I think by the time you're down at sort of 5, it's certainly below. You're getting into extreme technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I am fine with a bit of jank. Like,
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we've been gaming for so many years,
Mm-hmm.
like that. What is now seen as like unplayably janky is just like the games that I played as a child.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Like it's like, oh, the jank, it's so like it's unplayable, and I'm like, oh, it's just tank controls though.
Yeah.
It's not, like,
it's like, what do you mean?
Jank.
No, it's fine.
It's just a different control scheme. Like,
this is fine. I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when it starts to be, yeah, my biggest thing is like if it crashes, you lose progress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I hate doing the same thing, which is
Oh my
completely
God.
contrary of the fact that I love Souls-likes and also roguelikes. But I hate doing the same thing a game over and over again through no fault of my own, just because the game has decided to crash.
That's the key. It is a problem if you have to do it over and over and over because the game crashed. It is not a problem if I have to do it over and over and over again because that is a mechanic of the game and because I'm bad at the game. Those are the two times that I'm okay with doing it over and over. But if it is preventing me because the game is just not like well done, that's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think skill issue is something that I frequently quote in my own reviews when I'm talking about a bit of the game that I might not have enjoyed, but I will highlight if that was because it was purely a skill issue on my own behalf. Like, you don't lose points if I'm just bad at your game. Like,
that just means I have to get good.
not. Yeah. Sometimes it's very difficult to do that in the time frame of an embargo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but you don't lose any points for that. If I just have to watch the same cutscene like 7 times because your game keeps crashing, every single time I have to watch the cutscene, like I'm going to have more and more ill will towards your game to the point that I'm just like, this is unacceptable behavior. Like,
I think the only game that I've ever gotten so mad at having to see the same cutscene over and over and over, and it was a skill issue, was literally Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Towards the end, there is a really big fight. It's literally the last fight in the game. And I kept dying because suddenly the game went from like, you're pretty traditional JRPG to like a fucking Souls-like. And I was like, fuck you, right? Because literally I got through the rest of the game very quickly. I get to this last fight. I had to like put days in between me trying this last fight because it was all about the perfect timing and making sure you avoid it in this certain way. And I was like, I don't fucking like Souls-likes, and I don't want Souls-like mechanics in my JRPGs this way. Like, don't give me Cloud and then this nonsense where it's like, oh, if you're in this line of sight, it's gonna get you right away. Oh, if you're, I was like, no, like
Yeah.
this is absurd. It was like the difficulty all of a sudden went from like a 5 to a 9. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
like what there, and there's other stuff in the game that is harder, right?
Mhm.
But that is like is stuff that you can do post game, and they tell you that it's very hard, right? Like they tell you that. I was like, this
Yeah.
is just, you went from this fight is like, it's not an hour, but there's like segments of this fight that are happening, and everything was like 5, 5, 5, 9. I was like,
Yeah.
and I had to
To
do
be
the
fair, I
same
will-
cutscenes. Oh.
Yeah. I will take points off, and I have done it. 1 point. I took 1 point off. But the one game that I had that I reviewed for the site was Mandragora.
Mm.
Eh,
Mhm.
And to be fair, we did have a very short embargo on it, which was completely fine.
Mhm.
But the difficulty spike right at the end was so egregious that I had to take a point off, because it wasn't even really like you could go. It's a Metroidvania, like
Mhm.
there was maybe some things here and there you could go and do. Lie right in front of my face. But I had also cleared quite a lot of the side content as well.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like you could go and necessarily like grind for extra levels
Right.
or anything like that. But yeah, like the final area, not just the final boss, but the final area was so ridiculously difficult compared to everything else in the game that I had to knock a point off. Like the checkpointing was bad. You don't get a checkpoint in front of the final boss, so you have to work your way all the way up. You do unlock like a little bit of a shortcut, but you can
Yeah.
take significant damage like on the way there,
Mhm.
just because why is there not a checkpoint right outside the final boss if it's a difficult final boss? Even bloody Elden Ring does, like for Promised Consort Radahn and the DLC had fucking a checkpoint right outside. They were like, this is the worst thing we've ever done. Like, we're sorry.
We're sorry. Here's a
right?
checkpoint.
We're so sorry. Like, but yeah, it was like the checkpoint was super far away, so it took ages to get there. The whole area was badly balanced. The final boss was just super badly balanced,
Ugh.
also with like brand new mechanics just introduced for that. And I was just like, oh, it took me about 2.5 hours or something like that just to clear that section and then the final boss. And by the end of it, I was like, no longer
Mhm.
enjoying the game. I had to sit down for like an hour. It was 3 in the morning. The embargo was like the next morning. It was like 3 in the morning. I still had to sit for like an hour, 45 minutes
To just
and
write.
just calm down.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Mm.
just calm down. I was like, I can't write the review immediately after this section because I'm going to score this so much lower than it deserves to be, when realistically it only deserves to lose like a point for this terrible balancing issue towards the end. But
Fair.
if I write it right now, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. 'Cause I'm raging. I'm the angriest I've ever
no.
been. Like, so I'm just sitting like at my PC, like 3 in the morning, being like, breathe in through your nose, calm the fuck down.
In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth.
But I think really stupid difficulty spikes, that counts as like, I would say, a game design issue. I don't mind a little bit of a spike in difficulty. But as
Yeah.
you say, if it goes from a 5 to a 9, I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I was just like, what is this? I was like, what is this one shot kill? What? I was like, no, absurd. Unacceptable. I was like, I can't. No, get out.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I finished the game eventually. And by the time I finished it, I definitely like threw the controller down, jumped out of my chair, and said a lot of like fuck yous to the game. 100%. I was like, ah. So I guess there was that moment of joy.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing worse than like if you're playing a game for review and you know that you're like skill issuing on a moment, or it's just a bad, like either you're skill issuing or you're just getting super frustrated, and knowing that you can't just switch the game off and walk away from it, like, because I am a rage quitter. I rage quit at like the smallest inconvenience. I'm like, so I can go away for like 20 minutes and just calm down. Come back. But when you're doing it for review, and it's like, I've got a deadline. So I would normally rage quit, and then I'm just sitting at the computer, just getting angrier and angrier and angrier.
Mhm.
And when it's done, you're like, fuck this game. Fuck it. I hate you. Like, the worst thing I've ever done. Like, how dare you?
Oh my god. So freaking true. You know what helps with that though? I hear drinks help with that.
Absolutely. Doesn't help with skill issuing, I don't think.
No, but it helps with the or it can help with the anger depending on what you're drinking. What are you drinking today?
Today I have old classic. I think I've had this on the pod quite frequently. Is one of my favorite beers. But I have a Brewdog Hazy Jane, which is now
Nice.
one of the few times you can get it because they shut all the Brewdog bars. Not unnecessarily, because the people who owned the company were bad, and obviously very bad at financial management. Unfortunately for me, the pub that I like to drink in during the week was a Brewdog bar. Not necessarily because I love. Yeah, not necessarily because I love Brewdog. I just really like Hazy Jane, but just because I like the people that worked in that bar and I like the vibe. But it's closed forever now. So now I have to sit in the house and drink.
Well, I guess there's more game time for when you have the skill issues then.
That's very true. That is very true. I've got a whole evening of my week back because I don't go to the pub every Wednesday after work. So, but what are you drinking to help with skill issuing?
Yeah, to help with when I get angry at my skill issues. I am drinking. It is not in the bottle because I did not need to have the huge bottle of sake because I don't want it to get warm because it's cold sake. I am drinking a Sayuri Nigori sake, so it's a little bit on the sweeter side. It's unfiltered, but I put it in my Death Becomes Her cup because the cup does say bottoms up, so it just felt appropriate. So I've just been casually sipping on it. I have a 3-day weekend. It is absolutely before noon while we're recording this, but it's okay because 3-day weekend basically means I'm on vacation. So day drink responsibly.
Have a spacer, or make sure you have some snacks.
I do have snacks. Not the healthiest. There's a reason that my name is Candies because I like all the sweet things. I have some cookies, some chocolate chip cookies that I've been snacking on. And I didn't crack this open yet, but I do have a Diet Dr. Pepper to sort of rotate between the two. Because again, you day drink responsibly.
Yeah, we're all for responsible day drinking. It's technically early evening here, I think. I do have a spacer. I've got a large bottle of water.
See?
I'm not going to drink any of it though. I have a backup beer. But you know,
you have a backup to the backup.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. In case I run out of beer and then I'm like, oh, I'm still thirsty.
Always gotta have a backup. Always. But yeah, so that's what I've been sipping on today. I've had the sake for a bit actually. What I tend to do, and I haven't done it in a little bit because we haven't had recordings. So what I tend to do is I will make one big run to my local liquor store. I'll walk around, I'll see all the things that they have, and then I'll grab a bunch of things and take those bunch of things and have them for the next couple of weeks for the podcast. But I haven't made a trip in a while because we didn't have recordings. And then literally yesterday, we were walking down to the pizza place and I didn't bring like my full wallet with me because there's a liquor store like in the same shopping plaza as our pizza spot. So we're walking down to the pizza place and I was like, oh, I should have brought my wallet. I don't have anything to drink for tomorrow because I knew all I had left was this big bottle of sake. And I was like, you know what? I'll make the sake work. It's fine. And I'll take a trip later this week and like go see what they have. Because it's kind of nice to do it that way when I buy like a collection of things because then I almost feel like I get to see what they have for like the season. And the liquor store that I actually take the trip to, they have very small sections for ciders and for like meads and stuff like that. So they're rotating the stock a lot. It's not always the same mead. It's not always the same ciders. So I feel like if I go once a month, once every other month and do a big purchase, I get like a nice variety of things. But I need to do that sometime this week, probably.
Yeah, I will have to go to your staff shop at work and pick up a bottle of gin, I think, because I have been sending Candy the most unhinged martinis you've ever seen in your entire life. I think the last one I sent was made with vodka, but I don't like martinis made with vodka,
Mm-hmm.
so I will be buying a bottle of gin, so that like probably not on the next episode of Girl Pods. We will have to discuss when that's being recorded. I have stuff on next weekend,
Yeah.
but yeah, but the next episode that I am on, you can look forward to just a dangerously unhinged martini of some description. It may involve just something that you probably shouldn't put in drinks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it. You
No,
can tune in
no
to
spoilers.
more Girl Pods to see what unhinged things that I will put in a martini.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's a martini. That's what I'll say. Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of fat washing alcohol. I've had a really delicious lamb fat washed old fashioned before.
Okay.
So it's something that I enjoy when professionals do it. I don't know how well it's going to work in my kitchen with the chosen ingredient they have chose to fat wash their alcohol with.
It'll be an experiment. That's fine.
Yeah, it'll be an experiment. If not, we'll just default back to one of the many espresso martinis that I've also seen. Most of them are just like desserts. It's just like tiramisu espresso martini, and I'm like,
Oh, they're so good though.
no,
Oh no, they're so good.
absolutely, we'll have a tiramisu espresso martini. With I think it's the sort of standard espresso martini. The one that I've seen online is a standard espresso martini, but you make like the sweet mascarpone cream to put on the top of it, and I'm like, oh, I'd drink an entire vat of that.
100%. Oh, I'm gonna be dreaming about espresso martinis. Oh, I'm sorry, Sake. I feel like I'm doing you a disservice by dreaming about an espresso martini, but damn. We
can have an espresso martini episode, and Brett can make her like a non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah.
Like tiramisu style coffee for our non-alc listeners.
Yeah.
Who still want to partake. Like we can give you all various recipes of random espresso martinis or espresso based drinks that you might enjoy now that the sun's coming out. Like
I'm here for it. I'm in. I know it's also my fantasy guest, and I'm not gonna lie.
To espresso martini.
To espresso martini day. So this person has done some things in the gaming world, and I think is maybe just starting to really dive deeper into that, which I'm excited for. And this is, I'm gonna be like, this is one of my peoples, right? So this actor, much like me, was born in the Bronx of Puerto Rican descent. So one of my peeps, one of my homies. The person that I am bringing as fantasy guest is Christian Navarro. Also goes by Christian Lee Navarro. For people who watched 13 Reasons Why, he played Tony Padilla on that show. So that's the first time I had like seen him in anything like big. But clearly, much like me, must also be a bit of a nerd because a couple years ago he showed up as a guest player in Critical Role. And then now has done some voice acting. He is Hector in Date Everything, which obviously a lot of people know that I spent a lot of time with Date Everything and had a lot of fun with. And I remember when it was announced that, or when I found out that he was the voice of Hector, I was like, I wouldn't have put two and two together, but really thought he did a great job with the role. Because it's such an interesting character, and there's times where I can hear him in it, but times that I can't. So I felt like that was like really, really good. And now, most recently, Wizards of the Coast is doing their own sort of D&D tabletop series. called Dungeon Masters, and he is a regular on it, right? So it's
Wait.
like him, and I think there's like 4 or 5 people on it. I want to say maybe, oh, I haven't watched it yet. But it was really interesting to see that he was on it after having time on like Critical Role. It's Devora Wild and Neil Newbon, and I can't remember who the DM is. So I was like, okay, so you got some Baldur's Gate people, you got, someone who's been on Critical Role, right? And I think the nice thing that's going to be part of this is they are going to be showcasing classes, subclasses, things that aren't fully accessible to the everyday D&D player yet. So it also feels like it's a bit of a test run for things with people who are very entrenched in D&D. And then can also inspire other people to play D&D and show off like what the characters really can be and how to dive deep into characters and characterization. But obviously, as again, like I said, one of my people is like someone from the Bronx, Puerto Rican. Like I would love to hear, if his experience growing up in the Bronx was any different than mine, because when I was, growing up in the Bronx, like being a nerd, playing D&D, things like this, no way, right? Like that was not the vibe, right? That was being nerdy like that, not the thing, right? So I'd be curious, like, what was that like for him a couple years later, right? And then acting to this, right? Like diving into voice acting, right? Does he plan on diving into voice acting, or was it like, oh, because I was on Critical Role and I was talking to these guys as they were also doing Date Everything, they were like, hey, do you want to do a role in this? Like, what was that like? Like, I'd be really curious to have some of those conversations.
Oh no, I think that would be really cool. I want to first off just say that the fact that he is in Date Everything and is called Hector, but he is not a standing lamp, is very upsetting for me because the standing lamp in my living room is called Hector, and I switch him on and off in the morning and at night by telling my Google to switch on and off Hector. So I'm like, that would have been super fun. But yeah, I do think it'd be interesting to talk to someone who is like, well, yeah, a contemporary. Like, so obviously would have presumably had a very similar upbringing to yourself, given the fact you're both like from the same place, you both have the same like heritage and things like that. But I think looking him up, was born in the exact same year as me. So like, and even though we're in completely different places, you're right. Like when we were growing up, being a nerd was not cool. Like this is a relatively new phenomena of like, well, I suppose not that new, but it has been building, I suppose, since presumably like the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Like through the sort of MCU and things like that. But even when that came out, it still wasn't like super cool to be a nerd. Like, but it is a bit strange now for people online like flashing their nerd cards. I don't want to get super into a conversation about people or the terms of LARPing.
Yeah.
Like people people saying that they're massive fans of franchises and then you ask them about it and they've never played the game or anything like that. I know there's been a massive conversation on Twitter for the last couple of months, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with with gatekeeping, but at the same time, I'm like, actually, I don't think you can have an opinion on how the game plays if you've not played the game. Like,
Yeah.
You know, if your only way of consuming that franchise is watching shorts on TikTok or Instagram, then I don't care about your opinion of the gameplay. Actually, to be perfectly honest, but you can still enjoy it. I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah.
I just don't care what you have to say.
You can enjoy it from a distance, and I feel like there is, and then I feel like there is also the difference of like, what are you talking about that you're a fan of, right? Don't tell me you're a fan of the gameplay if you haven't played the game, but you can tell me, oh, I'm a fan of the story or the world that they've built or the narrative, because yes, by that consumption, you presumably have seen enough to say like that's the things that you're a fan of or that's what you like. Because there's things that like I think I've said this on the podcast before where it's like I'm never going to play the Last of Us games. They're just not the type of games that I gravitate towards, but I love the story. I love the world that's been built, right? I think the characterization of things is really well done. But that's because those are aspects of the game that I can take in through watching people, but I cannot comment on the gameplay specifically besides to say I've watched enough of the gameplay to know this is a game that I would rage through and not finish. And there's so much more to it that's really good that I want to see, which is why I'm going to consume it in this way.
Yeah, I might watch the TV show. I'm the same. Like the gameplay of The Last of Us doesn't really appeal to me at all. But I understand that like people love it and the story is very well told. And even though I think like some of the themes are a little bit cliche, from just, you know, like, oh, man is a real monster. It's like, yeah, we get it. Like, people have been telling this story for 1,000 years. That doesn't mean you can't still tell good stories with that as the theme.
But
And I would be much more likely to watch the TV show of The Last of Us and be like, oh, this is great. And I know that the performances in the game are also great. Like, shout out to all the voice actors and stuff. But, you know, it's just, I'm probably not going to play that game. But as you say, I'm also not going to comment on whether or not the gameplay is good or bad to play, because
it's just not for me.
It's just, it's a game that I think I probably would have enjoyed maybe if I'd played the first one when it first came out on like the PS3. Like if I'd played it during that era, it's potentially a game that I might have enjoyed at that time when I was much more likely to enjoy a very linear, almost like you move from story beat to story beat sort of a game.
Yeah.
Now I'm significantly less into that. I'm like, I want really weird and interesting mechanics. I want niche little indie guys.
Yeah.
I want a bit of crunch. Like, I actually like, I don't really care. It depends. I do care a lot about story in games if it's a story-driven game, but I'm also much more likely to play a game that has absolutely no story at all and is just all about really good mechanics.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's like, what are you know, there's like a time and place for everything, right? There's a time to be like, I want to play just something with like strong gameplay and I don't care about the story. And then there's a time that you want a story and that's what you're like looking for, right? And I think it's funny because I think that is also one of the things that's really interesting about like something like Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because there's gameplay mechanics, and I've seen this where some people really focus on the narrative and the storytelling, and you almost never get into a lot of like the combat mechanics and things like that. And then there are some campaigns where you're literally doing just dungeon crawling, so it's almost all puzzles and all combat, and you're constantly rolling, and you know, and then you have a blend. And it's, I think some of it is also really like, well, what do you want to play with? And that's why sometimes like some DMs are not good matches for players and some players are not good matches for DMs if, you know, what they're looking for in their campaign or their play doesn't work, right? And I think that, but I think that's true of any game, right? Does the genre match the player? You know, does the player match the genre? Is that what they're in the mood for? Like, all of that is so relevant to any game that you play. And I think the way you approach anything, there's going to be times that it's just not a good match, right? But
it'd
like,
be interesting to ask Christian if he had played D&D before.
Right.
He did Critical Role.
Right.
Because obviously as an actor and doing Critical Role, and presumably this one as well, they are, in order to be a Let's Play you have to do online, it's like they are significantly more narrative driven with those character focus.
Yes.
But did he play D&D when he was younger? And
right.
Does he actually like 7,000 rolls and loads of combat? Because I love that. I love a role play. Love it. Like, love a narrative session. But my favorite bit of D&D is combat. I love combat.
See, it's funny because I love the role play and the diving into characters and like the situations, and like I do like the combat. I think the combat depends on the character that I'm playing, right? So like obviously rogues are so freaking broken, and I love them, especially with like the new D&D rules where it's like, oh, you can have all the sneak attack die, or do you want to give up some of your sneak attack die to do this thing that can really change like how combat is going to go. Our newest campaign, I'm playing a fighter, so I'm like getting used to being a fighter, and I think I'm going to do a fighter with no magic because I've always played characters that have magic, and I think maybe this is going to be the challenge where I don't do that. But also not having magic will mean that I'll have to lean in more on those combat-based sessions because I won't have magic to use as distractions or tricks and like use it in the roleplay bits. So I think I'm going to challenge myself to do that. But that's also why I'd be curious to, to then talk to Christian and be like, his character in this Dungeon Masters game, and campaign 1 is Ravenloft, playing a Winter Walker Ranger, right? I don't know what a Winter Walker is. Tell me about a Winter Walker, right? I have not played a Ranger. Like, is it? And I thought it's funny. I thought about playing a Ranger, right? So the campaign.
I know the new mechanics are a little bit better for it. I've not dived fully into the new. The new mechanics on things. The campaign that I'm currently in, or DM was like, nah, we're just using standard 5e. Although I think every other person built their character using the new mechanics, and I'm just at a disadvantage because my weapons don't do the secondary effects that barbarians get. But it's fine,
those secondary effects are so cool, though. Some of them
I really
are.
Want to use them. Oh. And do you know what? I just shouldn't have asked. I should have just been like, I should have just built my character and just been like, do you know what, Adam? This is my character. My weapon does this, and he'd be like, what? And I'd be like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, I'm currently playing a halfling fighter, and I took the 2-weapon fighting as like my feat, and then I made sure that one of the weapons that I had has I forget what the property is actually called, but essentially I get to then do my second attack as part of the attack instead of a bonus action. So when you can only do that once per turn, but I'm like, okay, so that means I can do an attack that's going to hit twice and then do an actual bonus action as a halfling. And then as a fighter, when I get my second attack, that means
action surge.
Right. Like that's the thing. Like, could you, like, I'll be able to have 2 attacks as a regular thing and then an attack and then also an action surge. Like it will be ridiculous, which is part of the reason.
Made a monk. Bro's made a monk out of a fighter.
But that's like part of the reason I'm like, I could just do like no magic and just really be like out there just like haha, and then as my bonus action, and then like sometimes as my bonus action just be like, I'm small, so I'm gonna go hide behind this person so that you can't hit me either. I'm like, am I a rogue? Am I a monk? I don't know, but I'm out here be crazy.
I mean, I would love to do some of the extra stuff from the new one on my barbarian. Although, like, barbarians can be very broken. So I'm not overly concerned, and I don't think Adam or DM is going to make it hugely difficult because a lot of the guys, the 2 of the guys at the very least that we're playing with, haven't played a lot of D&D before. So it's like, okay, let's keep it light and breezy so that they get into it and they get more engrossed in the mechanics. They want to do cool things. We're very much leaning more towards the rule of cool than like crunchy tactics.
That's
also
fair.
I have just an inordinate amount of health, and I have a 2-handed maul, so I'm just like, don't worry guys, don't worry, I've got this. It's just like
See,
or 3 squishy. We have a rogue who's the person who's never played D&D before, so we interested to see
interesting.
how he gets the grips with rogue mechanics. We have an incredibly squishy warlock, and we do have a cleric, but again, it's not necessarily built towards combat cleric, because I know clerics can be fucking broken if you spec them up for high damage. So I think I'm the only person that's there ever going to be drawing our aggro, but that's good because I'm a Path of the Ancestors barbarian, so I want all the aggro. I want all the smoke.
You do. See,
I grew up in the arena. I want to beat your ass.
See, and I feel like thinking like the way we're talking about like the characters we've built and like the thoughts behind it, like I feel like that would also be really interesting to talk to him about, to be like, why a ranger, right? Again, as someone who like kind of thought about a ranger, but then was like, nah. Like, why a ranger? Was it something that it was like, here's the classes we want you all to show off, like pick amongst yourselves? Was it that you decided that's what you want to be? Like,
Yeah.
you know, how is it to then also get to play with these new things and show it off to so many people before it's like really, really out there, right? Like, I feel like it would be so much fun to just be like, let's talk D&D, right? Like, let's really dive into the creation of the character, right? Like, let's have fun with it. And then if he has a blast on Girl Pod, I'll be like, all right, let's do a one shot, right? Like, let's invite you back for a one shot and just like whatever and just go for it. I just feel like I think it'd be really fun because I think also for me, it would be really interesting to see, like, did any of the things maybe from your childhood and where you're from shape how you've decided to think about these characters, right? Like, does any of that or any of the roles that he's played before, right? Because the other thing is he's doing these things that I think are pretty notable, right? And not a huge resume of acting in the grand scheme of things when you think about compared to like other people that he's on with, right? Like, when you think about a lot of your people on Critical Role, and obviously they're the ones that made it what it is. When even thinking about like a Neil Newbon who has been doing so much over the years, right? So then also, what is it like to be in the room with these people who are, for lack of a better term, sort of like your seniors and now your peers, and you get to dive
Yeah.
into these really fun like experiences with them, and what is that like? And so I just feel like it'd be really, again, as a D&D nerd, it'd be really fun to dive into that and see like what maybe parallels did he and I have just from being from the same general area and same heritage, and then where he is now as a D&D person, and like, you and I being D&D people. Like, I feel like I feel like it'd be a fun episode.
I think it would be super fun. Yeah, and I think it is quite interesting if you look at his sort of like filmography on Wikipedia. It almost reads like the start of like Neil Newbon's as well.
Yes.
Like very, very short amount of or like a small amount of film experience. And then lots of like cameo episodes in like TV, presumably like police procedurals, and like a couple of episodes here and there, or maybe like a long stint. I didn't know Neil Newbon was in Hollyoaks. Now looking at this, but like bits and bobs, and then moving into the video game space, and like really making that their whole career in a really really positive way. So yeah, it's nice to see those parallels. So yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to talk to him about, as someone at the start of his career into video games. Is that something, as you say, that he got into because of like his co-stars on Critical Role were all voice actors, and they were like, oh no, you'd be really good at it, sort of encouraged him along that career trajectory, or if it's something that he had thought about previously, and like he's just really into games and is passionate about them and wanted to move over. Yeah, it's some nice parallels there. I think it would be very, very interesting conversation to have someone who's like only really voice acted in one thing, like what they feel about the industry, and whether or not they would go back and continue it. Like,
I just think it'd be, it'd be fun, it'd be interesting. Is that on the radar moving forward, or is acting in a different way what's really on the radar, or is it all tabletop now, right? Like, what's the main thing? So I'd be curious. Full transparency, I think the only thing that I have actually seen him in is 13 Reasons Why, because I did watch the whole thing. So I'm also not super familiar with like a ton of his like on-screen acting. Although I think he was great in the role on 13 Reasons Why, and probably my favorite character, because I think after a while, some of the show, I was like, oh. I finished it because at that point I was like, I'm so far into it, I'm going to finish it. But,
I think I watched the first season and then got very confused as to how they managed to make a second season.
that is super valid. That's the thing. That's super valid. Yep. You know, I think the other thing, you know, not that we steer away from politics on this podcast, right? Obviously, a little less relevant to you and everybody else in the UK. Like, there is an arc in the third season that is unfortunately very prevalent to all the things happening in the US now. So, you know, it would also be, you know, interesting to maybe touch upon that. Just like, how does it feel to have gone through that and see what's happening in the US now, if that was something that he was open to talking about, right? Because I know not everybody's comfortable talking about politics. Obviously, sometimes I can't shut up about them. But, you know, being mindful of people's comfort level and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I think, and I think the thing is too, it's like, again, that's the only thing I've really seen him in, but it was really great range. So it doesn't surprise me that he would have a lot of fun and the range on like different tabletop like things, especially when you get to create the character. So I think the thing is, I also feel like having him on the show could range from all the way to like fun and silly to like serious and like relevant. And I just think that like that span of things would be really cool to have on like an episode. But I mean, there's a lot of really serious topics out there to cover. And V asked me before like what we were going to talk about, and I was like, I have a topic that'll make us angry. That is a serious topic.
Okay. Oh wait. Serious face.
So I mean, you don't have to put on a serious face, but so I haven't finished it yet. I'm still playing through it. So I'm playing through Pragmata, right? Which I was really excited to play Pragmata. I have been really enjoying it. I'm not great at it. I love the puzzles on the side, and Diana is adorable. And like spending the time trying to like find the goodies for her to explore. But my gosh, some of the drama that I shouldn't even call it drama because it is a real serious topic. Some of the shit that came out around Pragmata because of people commenting on the face of Diana and commenting on, like, at one point, I guess she had like shorts under the dress, and then at one point she doesn't have shorts under the dress, or like things that I was not paying attention to. Right. Because I was like, because why would I? Right. And they're like, oh, her face, you know, is like, I saw some post somewhere.
Yeah. I saw this post. It made me super angry.
Yes.
You're right. I am mad. I'm fucking mad about it.
I was just like, what? Like, first of all, right, and this is not to forgive anybody who's talking about it in this context, but I do want to point out that she is a robot, right? She is like, there are literally scenes where Hugh hands her like a data cartridge and she puts it in her mouth, right? And it looks like a phone, which is why I'm using the phone. But she takes the data cartridge, puts it in her mouth, and you see the data uploading through her eyes, right? So she is fully like a robot. This is not a human, right? And I'm not saying this to forgive any like people who are looking at her in some sort of like attractive way, right?
Yeah.
But she's a robot.
The thing is, I have not, and the only one of the things that I did see was someone saying that a user had to be banned off of the subreddit or something like that for making inappropriate material about her, and I'm like, that's disgusting, and that person should be taken out to the street and beaten to death with rocks. Absolutely. However, what I have seen more of is people just losing their goddamn minds on Twitter, saying that if you enjoy this game, then you somehow are into children. And I'm
Yes.
like, you need to log the fuck off. I
Mm-hmm.
am so sorry. People are like, oh, I'm having a great time with Pragmata, with
Yes.
like, just like, oh, here's the only AI art that I'll accept, and it's her little crayon drawings and things like that. I'm
Yes.
like, that's adorable. I'm seeing loads of guys who have kids being like, this is like Dad Simulator, and I love it. Like,
100%.
it is reminding me of when my kids were younger, and it's so sweet and it's so adorable. And I'm like, this, I've not played it yet. I have to say, hands up, I've not played it yet. But this seems like such a sort of like wholesome experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like one person complaining that they have censored, you can't see up her dress or something like that. For one, kill yourself. Just take yourself out of the back. Fucking jump off a bridge.
Yeah. I was like,
Not
who's
acceptable.
looking at this? Like,
Yeah.
and obviously I know who it is, right? I'm like, who's looking at this? And then the other argument that I've seen people complain about is like, well, they made her face too attractive. They based her face on like an adult face. She's a fucking
No.
robot, bro. Like, and also, have you seen a child?
Yeah,
I
saw that.
She's not 3, okay? She's probably somewhere between the ages of like, I don't know, 7 and 10, right?
Yeah.
7 to 10-year-olds, yes, that is accurate to what their face would look like. They would start to get the face that they will have long into their adult years, right? They do not have the same chubby cheeks. And that's not to say that
Giant
all
eyes.
7, right?
Like-
That's not to say that all 7 to 10-year-olds don't look younger, because obviously there's some that look younger. But when I see the face of Diana, I'm not seeing some adult female's face that I'm attracted to. I'm seeing this kid who is adorable, who is giving me paintings and drawings, who is asking me about things, who wants to slide down the slide, who is asking about like the bedroom that I found the parts for her to explore, that is like, what is this TV? Like, that is what I am seeing. Right?
Yeah. Let's vilify the people who are like, censorship, you can't look up her skirt. Not the people who are like, this game's super cute and like I'm really enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing? This is
Yes.
this is outrage culture to the extreme degree. This is that one friend who is too fucking woke. Like, you have to fucking calm down. Like, you can't just be accusing and like, I don't want to sound like out of pocket, but no one's accusing the women who are playing enjoying this game of this behavior. Like, it's like, you can't be accusing every man who is enjoying Pragmata of liking children.
Yes.
Because you need to shut off your phone, put it in the washing machine, fucking walk away. Like, there is something seriously wrong with you if you cannot see the fact that people are enjoying a well-made game with fun mechanics and an adorable sort of father-daughter story.
Yes.
For anything other than some sort of gooner bait, log off. Get therapy. Get fucking help. There is something wrong with you. You need to stop. Like,
no, 100%. I mean, it's wild to me that people like, well, her face isn't young enough. I'm like, because I'm also like, okay, right? You want to complain about her face not being young enough. These are the same people that then would turn around and complain if they did actually take a human child's face and model it onto a robot, because you'd be like, well, did that child consent to having their likeness on a robot that is in the spaceship, right? Like, they would find anything to complain about anyway, right?
If her face was younger, then they would be saying they made her face so young to appeal to pedophiles.
Yes.
Like, you can't win in this situation because these people are terminally online. Like, I spent a good portion of my teenage years on Tumblr. I've seen what terminally online does to a motherfucker. But these people are like insane. Like, genuinely. Phone your dad and tell him you're mad at him. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? How do you, I know none of these people go outside, but are you walking up to like fathers in parks and challenging them if they're like helping their children on slides?
Yes.
Like, what is wrong with your brain that you cannot comprehend that meant to be good people. I don't know. I don't even know what their point is. It's just like
it's unreal. It's unreal. And I'm like, this is, and again, I haven't finished it, so I can't say whether or not it sticks the landing or not, right? But everything that I have played, even when I've gotten frustrated that I'm just bad at shooter games, because obviously a component of it is shooter, right? And I'm not great at those, but I'm having a really good time because I love the characterization. I love the father-daughter vibe that is coming from it, right? And maybe it's because I'm a daddy's girl that I'm like, the vibe is like so good, and it's like, oh, like, like they have such a good relationship even though they've like just met, and he's really like taking care of her, and like, there's a scene where things are falling and he makes sure to grab her, and again, she's a fucking robot, right? But he sees her as this like child that he can't leave alone, that he has to take care of, even though, again, robot, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the dynamic between the two of them is very adorable, right? And I'm like, so to see all these people then twist it, and for people, and yes, I know that there are sick people out there, I get it, but it does feel like there is more of the people who are purposely twisting it, right, just to be a fucking social justice warrior who's always online, versus like, and again, not to say that doesn't mean there are people that are having sick thoughts about it, right? Because look, I understand who made this game. I understand that culture also has lollies. I understand that. I get that, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say that wasn't their intention, because maybe for somebody who works there, maybe some of that was their intention. I don't know, right? But I don't think we should automatically be jumping to that when the game at its core, unless you were looking for it to be something that it's not, is really this like father-daughter relationship that is very rooted in like, we need to get out of here, like we need to work together, we need to care for each other so that we can survive this, right? It is not this perversion that people are jumping to complain about and nitpick, and really nitpick, right? Her face, you're gonna complain about her face? What?
Yeah. No, but none of these people have seen children outside, because again,
Literally.
could not possibly go outside. They would die, I assume, if they saw like a normal human interaction. Like, yes. My dad used to carry me about on my shoulders right up until I was like 8 or 9, like, and then maybe a little bit younger than that actually, because I think I was a bit of a chonk by that point. But well up till I was like sort of 6 or 7, like. If these people saw that in the street, would they be like, outrage, like, how dare you? Like, I'm like, this is normal parent child interaction. Like,
yes,
like, contrary to popular belief, and I don't want to be flippant of any horrible things that are done to children, because I think it's reprehensible, and much like the person who was complaining of censorship, that you couldn't look up her skirt, I do think you should go and throw yourself off a bridge, or be taken outside and beaten to death by rocks. But I have to wonder, like, how bad is your relationship with your own parents that you can't see just like a normal or very like sweet relationship between a father figure, a daughter figure, but even like in other things like a mother-child relationship, and not just go to the worst possible place. Like, because this is how normal people interact with their parents. And again, I know that not everybody has the same family dynamics. If if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, I hope that you have a good support system and you have people around you that support you in those ways that you should have got from them, and I'm incredibly sorry. But it's not even these people that are doing this.
No.
I think it's like 18-year-olds or 17-year-olds that spend too much time on the internet and just want to be mad about everything. And they're like, oh, well, you can't possibly like this because it means that you like children. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
It's like
weird that your
looking-
brain goes full
Yes.
first to that point, because mine never would.
No.
Like,
It's
Why are you
looking
thinking
for
about
something
this?
to complain about. It's like looking for some reason to tear it down, right? You want to tear it down because it took Capcom so fucking long to put it out that they had to make fun of themselves and say, no, we promise it's real, right? Like, make fun of them for that, right? Make, you know,
slag them for it not actually being a Mega Man game.
right?
You're like,
Like, make fun of them for that, okay? Don't make fun of them because, or don't try to tear it down because you think that some of it is, you know, so out of pocket, right? That you think that people are going to take it the wrong way, right? Now, would it be great if Diana had shoes in her base outfit? Sure, right? The first thing I did when I got a new outfit for her was put her in an outfit that had shoes. Her feet are almost never touching the floor, but I still put her in an outfit that had shoes, right? I put her in the Neo Bushido outfit so she looks like a little samurai walking around with a little face mask and her hair's all over the place and she looks fucking adorable, okay? She is so stinking cute, right? I'm like, if I had a daughter, she better look like fucking Diana because she's adorable, right?
and I will point out, like, as someone who has like a niece and a nephew, and like, kids fucking hate shoes.
They
Like,
do. I know they do.
I don't like. I know that is a big point of contention. Is like, well, why isn't she wearing shoes?
I
I'm
know.
like, but I like, presumably, if the person who was like designing it is a parent, they probably also know that kids are incapable
shoes.
of keeping their fucking shoes on.
I know.
Just like always taking their shoes off. And this, like, even when they're tiny babies and like
Yes.
buggies and stuff like that, you're just like, where the fuck is your shoe gone? Like, your shoe is gone, your sock is gone. It's like halfway down the road in the fucking shopping
Oh my,
center.
no, you go
Because
through a
despite the
theme
fact you have-
park and you see shoes everywhere.
Yeah, despite the fact you have no concept of how to, like, even as a tiny toddler, you have no concept of how to actually remove things with your hands.
But you
and you're
figured out.
strapped in. You've somehow managed to wriggle your feet in the requisite way to get the shoes and the socks straight off your fucking feet. Like, kids hate shoes. I can't walk around my house without socks on. Like, if my bare feet are touching the floor, I am super uncomfortable. Kids, if their bare feet are not just like scrunching up in the dirt, they're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
Yes.
they love that shit. Like,
They really do.
so even that, I don't see it as like a super, like, oh, it's so that people can look at child feet. I'm like, maybe that person just has like 6 kids or something, and they're all like fucking just throwing their shoes everywhere, just fucking hate shoes, like, hiding their shoes, just like they go to the play park, like they come home minus like 3 pairs of shoes. Like, that person has bankrupted themselves on shoes over
Just because of
years.
shoes.
Because they have to keep buying new shoes because their kids keep taking their fucking shoes off wherever they go. Like, you can't keep shoes on, children. Like, this is a realistic AI model of a child. It's just like, fuck shoes. I hate shoes.
And you know what? You want to complain that Diana is too good of an AI because she's too human? Fine. Fine.
That's what they're trying to do.
That's what
with
they're
AI.
trying to do. Right. Like, you want to say that it's almost too real and that it's scary? Fine. Right? Fine. Those are valid, like, arguments, right? But this other, like, they've made her too pretty. They've made her too attractive. Why are you looking at her as attractive? I look at her and I'm like, I must protect. Right? That,
Yeah.
like, that's what I see.
I
Like,
must furnish her with shoes because she's thrown her shoes away.
I'm gonna put her
God
in
damn
these
it.
boots that she's not gonna be able to take off as easily. She's gonna walk around like a samurai, okay?
Diana, put your fucking shoes back on. Why are you taking your shoes off? Get the Velcro ones, just like strap her in. Like, keeping those shoes on. Like, why have you got your shoes off? The floor is dirty.
The floor, don't you see me blowing up these other robots? There's gonna be shards of metal everywhere. Put on some shoes to protect your feet, okay?
Yeah, don't touch the metal shards. Don't touch.
I don't know if you can give an AI a tetanus shot, okay? Like, I need you to relax.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm like, Yeah, how do you look at all of the AI programs that exist and not understand that what Capcom is doing with the
Yes.
fact that this is genuinely how AI companies want AIs to go?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they want it to be your friend. There's
Yes.
people online that think AI is their romantic partner,
Oh,
which we have
I've been down
also
that subreddit. Yep.
wild,
Be
wild
you want to be
times.
mad at Capcom? Be mad at Capcom for making too perfect of an AI that the AI companies are going to strive for this. That's what you can be mad at Capcom for.
Yeah, don't be mad at Capcom. Be mad at Sam Altman all the time. Just every single day. Wake up, mad about it, go to bed, fucking mad about it. Like, but also, that's where you have to, that's where the problem is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there will be creeps out there. But
Yes.
those creeps are not, they're not playing Pragmata to look at child feet. They're,
Nope.
they're typing shit into fucking chat GPT, and, we should beat them to death with rocks. Like,
Yeah. No, it's just so interesting that like I was like, I just want to enjoy this fun little game. And and again, Pragmata up until last October was not even on my radar. And then I played the demo and I was like, wait, she's so stinking cute. Like the demo has the scene where literally like you defeat this boss and Hugh puts his hand up for a high five and she just looks at it because she can't understand what a high five is, and he has to teach her what a high five is so that she can do it, like, and
yeah.
understand why people give high fives. And I'm like, this is literally a parent teaching a child like things that we take for granted, that at some point somebody taught us what a high five is, whether that was because we saw it in something and then we mimicked it, or someone sat there and explained it to us in the way that he has to, right? Like this. And I think that's one of the, to me, that's like one of the strengths of the game, that I'm like, this feels as not grounded in reality as it is. It feels grounded in reality in the relationship between the two of them and the way that
Yeah.
they interact, right? And I'm like, to me, and again, because for me, characters and stories and stuff like that are a little bit more important sometimes than the like gameplay itself. Although again, I
Yeah.
really do love the mini puzzles when you have her hacking things, right? So like
Yeah.
for me, all of that stuff is really, really cool and really, really fun. But the relationship and the bond between the two, and the dynamic, the conversation, the banter, right? Because even when you die, you don't fully die because she kind of saves you. But like even when you wake back up and she's like, "Are you okay, Hugh?" And she looks at you and she's like, "It's okay, Hugh. Next time we'll do this," right? And she's like very optimistic, and the way
Yeah.
that children are, right? Where
The way that only children can be.
yes, where like life hasn't beat them down, right? And then and sometimes she'd be like, "Well, maybe next time we can try this," right? And it's like just very, very wholesome, right? And again, I have not finished the game. I assume that at some point, because she is AI, some shit is gonna happen, and maybe she turns on us. I don't know. But in the moment, right, I'm like, this is so
Oh.
wholesome. So to see people then take it and dilute it and make it not wholesome, I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck right
You all
off.
have to stop. In fact, I would like to see your gamer card. I would like to see. Show me your credentials. We spoke a tiny bit about LARPing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Show me your credentials. I would like to see.
Yeah.
One, I'd like to see how much of the game that you've played that you're criticizing so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, hands up, I have not played it yet. But also, just I want to see. I want to see your gaming credentials. I want to see
Yeah.
if you have ever played a video game proper in your
Mm-hmm.
life.
Yes.
Because
yes.
I'm going to put money on the fact that most of these people haven't. Because who would have the time to invest in playing video games for fun when you're so fucking mad on Twitter 24 hours a day?
Mm-hmm.
Like, go
Yes.
to sleep. Have a shower.
And I think
fucking
the
just
interesting
fire up vampire crawlers or something.
the
Jesus
interesting
Christ.
thing is, I feel like people are picking on this one because it's the big game and it's Capcom. Because right before this, I played Opus Prism Peak, right?
Yeah.
Which is also father-daughter, right? It is very, and it's, if I dilute it down to, here's a father figure who finds a young girl who he takes on as a bit of a daughter figure, and they have to get to their end destination. That is true of both of these fucking games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in both of these games, there are many, many times where the young daughter is being carried on the back of the other guy. Much more in Pragmata, obviously, because the hacking and the way that you're aiming and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that is also true of Prism's Peak, right? And there are moments in Prism Peak where it is very similar banter, right? And like, you know, the conversations, and there are scenes in Prism's Peak where the younger girl character, right, the daughter figure is like, she has her head on the lap of the father figure because she's falling asleep, right? There are scenes, you know, and it's like nobody is sitting there tearing this game apart and thinking bad about this game,
Yeah.
right? Or saying, oh, well, it's because of this, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that it's not on these people's radar because it's not a AAA game, right? So they can't tear it apart because, again, you're not a real fucking gamer. You're just out here being a social justice warrior complaining about things. Or, and again, not to say that there's not people being gross about Pragmata, right? Because I'm sure there are, right?
There's people being gross about everything.
There's
I
people
watched
being
a
gross about
YouTube
everything, yeah.
video earlier about a vor mod for Skyrim. Don't ask me what I was doing. I was
We'll clear your search history, right? But like, you, because Pragmata is in the, you know, is in the forefront, you're tearing it apart, right? If you spent 20 minutes looking at other games that had similar themes or similar like father-daughter things, you would find Prism's Peak pretty quickly because they came out within a week of each other, I think, maybe 2 weeks, right? And you would find this game and you would find these same scenes, but I don't see you complaining about this. No, but you're complaining about this one that's like, because it's there, right? So
yeah.
either
You're rage baiting on Twitter.
you're rage baiting, like, stop. And again, that's not to say, I know there's like one person who made some like lewd art of Diana, and I think there was some controversy because then they used the icon on Twitch or whatever. There was some weird thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, but for that one person that made it to the
them
bubble
to death with rocks.
Yes. And then let me enjoy my game and stop talking shit about it.
Yeah. We can beat the one person to death with rocks for being a creepy. A creepy person does not make the game creepy.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry that you don't phone your dad when you're sad. Like, I'm sorry that you don't.
That you don't
like,
have that relationship with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, when I was stressed out about something a couple of months ago, I was like, oh, phone my dad because I know he's going to be able to cheer me up. Like,
yeah,
you know, because he's always been able to cheer me up since I was like 7 or 8, and he was
since I was Diana's age.
Yeah, since I was about 7 or 8, and he was carrying me around on his shoulders or on his back. Like, I'm sorry that is not the case, and and I don't even necessarily mean that to be as flippant as I'm saying it to be. If you do not have a good relationship with your father, I am genuinely sorry, and I'm sorry if you've got a terrible father. I'm sorry
because that happens. Yep.
Yeah,
and it's not your fault. If you have a bad relationship with your dad, or your dad is not in the picture, or your dad is an awful person, reminder that it's not your fault. You are not responsible for who your father is. You are only responsible for who you are and how you react to it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But don't, that doesn't mean you need to.
Don't project it onto other things.
Yeah, obviously not everyone who's got bad relationships with their dad is doing this. This is a small pocket of people,
but they're loud.
And it does seem like they are getting louder and bigger with each subsequent release of certain things. Like, this is significantly more disturbing in the fact that it's like they are trying to assume that people are sexualizing a child, but it's the same group of people that are like, oh, you can't enjoy game with women because women too hot. They're the same people. It's like no, I need you I just need you to be quiet. Just need you. I
I
just
need you to
fuck
get off
right
the internet,
actually.
okay? I need you
Yeah.
to allow me to enjoy the hot woman. I need you to allow me to enjoy Leon Kennedy. And I need you
Yeah.
to allow me to enjoy playing Pragmata for the father-daughter relationship that exists that is not sexual.
Yes. Yes. All these things are true. I just need y'all to stop. Like, maybe we should bring back gatekeeping. Maybe we should bring it back. Like, I'm not adverse to it. Like, just
It's
goddamn.
it's just wild to me, right? And again, it's like, they're picking on and again, not that I want to defend Capcom, because Capcom, obviously, like any other big company, I'm sure has its issues and blah blah blah, and I haven't taken a deep dive into those issues, right? But you're picking on Capcom because that's the one that's in the forefront. That's the one that you see. You're not picking on, a Prism Peak, which is doing the father-daughter relationship. And I finished Prism Peak. I haven't finished Pragmata yet. So, what I've seen, so far, and there are reasons for it, right? Let me clarify. There are reasons for it. From the jump, Pragmata is doing the father-daughter relationship better than Prism Peak, but there are narrative reasons for that, and you should you should play Prism's Peak, right? Because it's a fantastic fucking game.
I'm gonna cry, aren't I?
You are gonna cry, because I literally, when I was writing my review, I finished the game, I'm writing the review, and as I was replaying certain scenes, and I went back to some scenes to just like grab screenshots and double check things. As I was playing certain scenes and as I was like thinking about it and writing it, like I was literally choked up writing the review, because as I'm thinking about the things that happen in the game that get you to the point of the ending of the game, I was just like, this is such good storytelling, and all the voice actors really, really like brought it. And there's in particular, there's one voice actress, and I'm blanking on her name, and I apologize. She plays the horse, the unicorn. Right. There is one scene that she does that when you hear the cry and the sort of like scream, just really like just fucking broke me, because I was like, that is so primal and real, and like anybody that has dealt with any of those sorts of things will feel that, right? And I put it in the review that I wrote, and I did say, like, here's a little bit of a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it on the podcast. If you want to check out the review, but some of the content of the game is really difficult, and it's actually interesting as I'm thinking about it, as we're talking about, like, maybe you have a bad relationship with your dad, and this is why you're like, responding to Pragmata in this way, right? The main character, Eugene, does not have a great relationship with his father, right? And that narratively is also what impacts the way that he's dealing with this young girl that he finds, which is what opens up the story of Prism's Peak. So that's not a spoiler in any way. But so it's interesting that, from what I've seen of Pragmata, I have no idea what relationship Hugh has with his dad, but he takes on Diana as this sort of daughter figure very quickly and very well, whereas Eugene in Prism's Peak does not, right? So you have these parallels, right? Again, father figure takes on daughter figure to get to end goal, right? Those are very general plot points, but the way that you get there and the relationships you see, very different, and the way they evolve, but no one's tearing apart Prism's Peak, right? And nor should you, right? You shouldn't tear apart Pragmata, and you shouldn't tear apart Prism's Peak, right?
Yeah. This is not an open invite to just go and find another game to be mad at.
No, it is not.
I personally think that you should go outside.
I think yes. It is May. If you were in the northern part of the world, you were getting to, warmer weather. So please go outside. Enjoy the outside. The sun is out for longer than it is inside. So please
get some vitamin D. It is good for your mental health.
That's what they say. But so it's really, I don't know, it's really interesting the way that people are tearing it apart and thinking about Prism's Peak and how people are not, and obviously, again, no
'Cause
one
people aren't
is
aware of it
people
necessarily.
aren't
Yeah.
aware of it. Yeah. And I think if you're not someone who's going to sit here and try to tear apart a game for bullshit, I think you should play Prism's Peak, right? Because it's beautiful, it's well done, it is emotional, and it's not long. Neither one of these games is long. Prism's Peak is faster to get through because skill issue is not as prevalent in Prism's Peak, right? Because there's not like the
Does
shooting
it
and the aiming and like.
does it have a speedrun achievement? So like my first foray into the Opus series was Echo of Star Song, which also made me cry. And I was not expecting it. I'm like, oh,
I think
little
all their games will make people cry.
yeah, I was like, oh, little visual novel puzzly game because there's the gameplay's a little bit different in Echo of Star Song. There's like some puzzles and stuff to do, and in the end, I'm on my couch, I'm crying. I'm like, what happened? What happened to you? I was so confused.
I'm telling you, I
I
literally
was not expecting this. It's a fucking gut punch.
there are, I think with Prism's Peak there are moments. I think
Mm,
I think Prism's Peak won't be a gut punch to everybody, but I think there are definitely moments that will be gut punches to certain people. You know, I think all right, I'll put spoiler warnings, and this is your verbal spoiler warning. You know, infertility, divorce, like losing a grandparent who's a loved one, like they're gonna fucking trigger you, right? Like those have the potential to trigger you, right?
oh,
So
I can't play this game.
no, I know, and so that's why I'm like this.
I'm
The
so
warning.
glad I did not get that review code. Jesus
I know,
Christ.
because I think you were the first person for it, and then it was like V's busy, and I was like, all right, sure, I'll take it. And like,
God damn.
and this part is not as a spoiler because this is what starts everything. Eugene is on his way to his grandfather's funeral, right? That is what starts this whole story. So that part is not the spoiler, but as you explore more of the relationship between the grandfather and Eugene, and then the funeral and things like that, that is like what will trigger people. So you know, those are three things that have the potential to trigger people. Now, obviously, not everybody had close relationship with grandparents. Not everybody has infertility issues, and not everybody has gone through a divorce or had like really difficult relationships end, right? You know, or sorry, I should have added a fourth one, which I did add in the article. Again, spoiler: the death of a child, the loss of a child, right? So big, you know, and that was in the review. So V probably already knows this because she has to look at my reviews for better or worse. Right? But
No, yours are fine. Yours are fine.
like
You know
those
how
are
to spell, bro.
I usually know how to spell. Yeah, usually. Well, when I have to write something later on today, and I've had so much sake, we'll see how well my spelling is. But you know, those are very big things that can trigger players. And as you know, and it was funny because when I sat there and played it the first time, you know, I think because I was like, I'm taking the time to jot down notes, and I'm writing things for myself, right? It was on reflection of it that it hit me more than the immediate play. But if you're talking to people about it or thinking about it, right? And I think even if you're just a parent who can't imagine going through some of that pain, it could still hit you in such a way that is both beautiful but also sad, right? And I think that's the amazingness of the story, and you know what they told and how they told it, and how it's told through the lens of a camera, and how you're taking these pictures, and these pictures are memories, and what you hold on to versus what you don't hold on to, right? And that's the crux of so much of this game, right? What is meant to be forgotten, what is not meant to be forgotten, what just ends up forgotten, right? That is important to the game. But if this was on people's radar, they wouldn't even look at that, and they would tear it apart for, well, why is Eugene with this young girl? Which would be so unfair.
I think we should switch then or no. I think we should switch.
I mean, listen, if
Not
you
today. Not today, because we have to do multiplayer Slay the Spire after this, but after that, like, I think
After
we
that,
should,
right?
I
Like,
think we should, I think we should switch it off.
like I just
For
wish that.
everyone's mental well-being, I think the internet should be switched off for like 2 weeks. And the summer,
Yes.
every year. So as you say, Northern Hemisphere year. So we get 4 weeks of the year,
Mm-hmm.
where we just switch it off, and you have to go outside.
Yes.
Everyone gets 2 weeks off work. And you need to go to your friend's house, go to your family's house,
Mm-hmm.
play a board game. Presumably not
Yes.
Monopoly, because you're supposed to be having a good time. Like,
I like
you know,
Monopoly, and I think Monopoly can be a good time. However, if you are that person who never trades and makes the game go along for much longer than it should, I have a problem with you. Now, I understand not
So-
trading right away.
you understand why actually it's very unusual that I have a good relationship with my father, because he is that man. Like,
That is Sean. So I will never play Monopoly with Sean. Because we played a game one time, and because he would not trade and he kept saying he was Switzerland, that game lasted 2 hours longer than it should have.
what the fuck? Switzerland trades with everyone. They're neutral in wars, not in trade agreements. They own all the banks, bro. Like,
So, that game went on 2 hours too long. It should have lasted like an hour and a half because there was only 3 of us playing. But because he
Yeah.
refused to trade, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Never again will I play Monopoly with him. Love the man dearly, but will never touch Monopoly with him again.
yeah, my dad's well, he's very good at Monopoly. And anyway, you could be very good at Monopoly, but he always seems to win. Presumably, he just has tactics or cheese. I don't think he does actually cheat.
He's secretly
Like-
taking the bills from the side to have more money.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't actually cheat, but I have only won at Monopoly playing him once. And I got him to sign a piece of paper with the date on it that said that I won, and I've never played Monopoly with him ever again. Like, I have a memory box of stuff, and it's just got this post-it note in it that says that I won Monopoly on that
Valid.
day, and it's a legal document. You could take it to court. It's a legally signed, notarized document. But yeah, you know, if you don't have a good relationship with your dad and you're thinking all these bad things about Pragmata, I can understand why you wouldn't have these fun memories.
Yeah. Yeah. God, like
The worst part is, I think most of these people probably do have very good relationships with their dads. Like,
well, I think
and
that
they're
says something
just-
more about them.
yeah, they're just online being either contrary or contrarian, or they just, like, again, cannot stress enough, need to go outside, need to have conversations with people who are not online all the time.
Go outside, and I think stop. You know, the other thing is, because I've seen this argument a lot. Stop thinking that rage baiting is going to get you some sort of notoriety or follows or whatever. Because is that really what you want to be known for?
Yeah.
Like, is that
You could be
really the thing?
You could be internet famous for being the dumbest person I've ever seen. Like,
If I'm going to be
job.
internet famous, I want it to be because I said, you know, something out of pocket, like the Demogorgon in Dead by Daylight looks like a penis, and try to tell me that I'm wrong, right? Like, I want that to be what I'm like.
Yeah.
Like, not because I had some take that was supposed to be a hot take, because like some weird fixation with father-daughter like incest or something. Like, that shit is wild.
Yeah, it's insane, and you see it quite frequently. I read a lot of fan fiction, because I am a degenerate.
Because
But
you're of the Tumblr
like,
generation. Same. I get it.
absolutely. But you see the same as like all these like really young people, and I don't know what happened that like 18, 19, 20-year-olds now are just like the most prudish people on the planet. But they're like, oh no, like, fan fiction is actually morally wrong. Like, you know, you can't imagine these fictional people fucking. And I'm like,
But you
well,
can.
For one, the fictional people that I'm imagining fucking are like in their 30s. Like,
Mhm.
which is completely allowed. Like,
Yes.
and two, what are you talking about? Like, just, I just need you to go outside. Like, I need you to
Literally.
go outside. Like, it's It's not weird that people think that the adults on TV are hot. Like, it's not. That's not weird.
No,
Like,
not at
it's
all.
not weird that people think that 50-year-old Leon Kennedy is a smoke show.
Cause he is.
Like,
Like, look,
yeah,
I mean, here's here's my take on it, right? If you want to write a fan fiction where you, even if you create a self-insert character and you make Leon Kennedy cheat on Ada Wong, right? Fine, they're fake characters, they're not real,
yeah,
whatever, right? You want to,
he
because
would
I
never.
was, I mean, he would
Never.
never. You're right. He would never. What is more real is that you would probably be able to sleep with Soldier Boy from the boys. And let me tell you, I know that Jensen Ackles says that like that character takes him to a dark place, but fucking hell does he do it well. Jesus Christ. Like I'm like Soldier Boy could get it, right? Like I'm sorry. He could get Jensen Ackles looks great as Soldier Boy, right? But am I going to be like, I want Jensen Ackles? No. I understand that presumably he is happily married to his wife. But if someone wants to self-insert me in a fan fiction about me and Soldier Boy, have fun, right? Because that is a fictional character. It is not hurting anybody, whatever, right? I am not going to try to have this parasocial relationship with Jensen Ackles, again, who is happily married, right? I'm pretty sure he's married. I don't know. Because I don't know enough about him, but I know the character that he portrays, and I'm like, damn, he looks good being a morally gray character. I don't know if maybe he's fully moved over to evil at this point, but either way, looks great doing it, right? So whatever. That is fine and normal. And let's not forget that there are some works of fiction that have started as fan fiction, good, bad, and in between, right? But like 50 Shades of Grey started as a fucking fan fiction, right?
50 Shades of Grey is like
listen,
it's fan fiction of fucking fan fiction.
I know. But let's not forget that like that started as fan fiction, right? And then became its own thing, right? And then started the conversation of what like BDSM actually is, right? So while not that, right? But did it educate people? Because then people started to do the research to actually see what it is, and it got the conversation going. Yes. So fan fiction on its own, not inherently bad, right? Not inherently an issue. Like, yeah, fan fiction is great if that's what it takes to get your jollies out, right? Cool. Enjoy the fan fiction, right? It's when it crosses into something parasocial, when it's more of like an issue, when you're really thinking about like real people and how you personally can get to those real people. That is the problem. You want to have some fan fiction about Soldier Boy or whichever Winchester. I know he was on Supernatural. I never fucking watched Supernatural, so I don't remember who he was. But you want to have some fan fiction about that character? Cool, have fun, right?
Yeah.
To me, that feels safe, right? Leon Kennedy, cool. Ada Wong, whatever. That is safe, right?
Yeah.
Chun-Li from fucking Street Fighter at this point. I don't know how old she is at this point, right? But cool, have fun, right? Lady D, go at it. But
all these women can just beat me up. Yeah.
I know. I was trying to think of things outside of Capcom, and I was like, I know that there are.
My beloved Garrus Vakarian. I'm pointing at a framed picture of him on my wall. Garrus Vakarian, my beloved. Like,
see, there you go.
Like,
you want to write that fan fiction? Go for it. So it's just, yeah. I'm all for people being creative with their stories and things like that. Just be safe with it, please. Please.
Yeah, and just, be normal about games with characters who are children in them. Just start being normal, please.
Yes. Like,
or just go outside, log off.
Yeah, or log off. That's fine too.
Or a
you can
professional.
Absolutely log off the internet, right?
Mm.
You can log off the internet, go outside, experience what it's like to be outside. The internet will still be here.
Because we haven't found a way to switch off.
Yes, you'll just have a different perspective on the internet now, and that will probably be better for you.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
like, please go outside and explore what the outside world looks like. Like, there's so much out there.
Yeah. And you can listen to this podcast on Spotify whilst you're outside. That's allowed. That's
I mean, you can
totally
listen to it on YouTube if you pay for YouTube to keep playing on your phone too. That's cool too.
allowed. Yeah.
You can do all the ain't nobody stopping you from listening to us. We encourage you. We encourage you to listen to us while you're outside.
Yeah. Go for a walk in the sunshine. and listen to
Yeah.
it. Like,
Again, it's almost summer. It's not summer yet. I think I was like, are we in summer yet? We're not in summer yet, but it's almost summer. Like,
Dude.
go outside, enjoy the sunlight, like get some vitamin D, like, and if you're into it, get some real D. I don't know, like, go get laid, go like do something in a healthy
Yeah.
way, in a consensual way, but go do it. Like, get off the internet.
yeah. Yeah. I think you should just. Yeah, I think I agree. I thoroughly agree. Like, go
Get the
have
D, get the
consensual
V, get
fun
whatever you want.
times and whatever flavor you like it.
Mhm.
Like, even if that's no flavor at all, go have cake or coffee or whatever you want with
Yeah.
trusted friends, families, and or lovers. Like, you just
Yes. Absolutely.
just stop taking everything online. Like, don't stop it. Stop it.
Yes. Like, stop trying to be so deep about it, because at the end of the day,
It's not
yes.
deep and everyone thinks you're weird.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, are there people that are going to be gross about it? Yes. Does that mean that you need to assume that everybody's gross about it? No.
No.
Absolutely not. Like, and you know what? Be the positivity you want to see in the world. Stop tearing shit apart, okay? Go be positive about things. Go see the sunlight. Go do
Yeah,
something fun.
And go play one of the Opus games. They're
Yes.
underrated. It's an underrated series. You should go and play at least one of them
Mm-hmm.
just to experience a good emotional gut punch that will be very cathartic once it's done.
Yes. Oh my God, so cathartic. Oh my God. There are things that I missed in my first playthrough, and like, I still have it installed because I want to go back and find some of those things, but there's also a part of me that's just like, do I have the mental and emotional bandwidth for it right now? That's the only thing that has stopped me from like fully diving back in, because I'm just like,
you might
ooh.
need to give it a bit.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, do I like need to jump in now? I don't know. Like, but it's so fucking good. Like, I can't say enough how good that game is. And they've because it just updated on Steam for me recently, and they've added some pieces that I was really hoping that they would add. Like, they added some like the ability to save at certain times and do certain things, which is helpful, especially if you're trying to figure out some of the puzzles of like what some of the totems want to see, which is super helpful. So there was just like, there were certain things that I'm like, oh, this would have definitely made this like so close to like a 10 out of 10. But it's such an amazing game. But it is is it a gut punch? Like, the scene at the end with like the emotions from Eugene is just like, oh, like, and all the voice acting is. And I know I wrote this in the review, and you should still read the review, but my God, like, all the voice acting was so good.
Yeah, I think it's just like a super like little hidden gem of a series, because each game is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the previous one, Echo of Star Song, is like, it's set in space. There's like space capitalism, like body autonomy, themes of like body autonomy,
Mhm.
and like allusions to sort of terminal illness and things like that, and you know, just love and soulmates and finding new people and stuff like that. And I had never heard of the series at all until I just randomly picked it up on Game Pass at some point.
And it's not
by the end of it,
expensive.
I'm like, no. By the end of it, I'm like crying. And then
Mhm.
so when they showed off Prism Peak, I'm like, Are we ready? Are we ready? Cry again. Like it was like so yeah, that would be presumably both our game recommendations for this
Yeah.
week's pod. Is just pick up an Opus game. Like
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
great sort of mix of visual novels and the unique gameplay mechanics that come with whatever entry in the series that you're playing. But yeah, if you want a bit of emotional catharsis.
Yeah. And you don't need to play them in the order of release. There's little nods. Like in Prism Peak, you can take a picture of things that are, I think I actually found the Echoes of Star Song like poster
Yeah.
and I took a picture of it. So it's like, so it's an achievement to find some of those things. So but it's narratively, you don't need to have played
No.
the other ones to play Prism's Peak, and I think it's the same for all of them. It's just like if you've played the other ones, you'll find like, oh, haha, here's this Easter egg to this thing, right? Which is good. And I don't think any of them are long. So if you have just like a weekend that you don't have anything set up and you're like, I want to feel some feelings, pick up an Opus game.
Yeah, you definitely should. A great little series, severely underrated.
Get it on the radar. Pick it up. Do it.
Play more games. Get off Twitter. Go play a game.
Go play a game. Get off Twitter. Go play a game. Go outside. Right? Enjoy some. Go outside while the sun is out, and when the sun comes down, go back inside and play an Opus game.
Yeah.
That's your homework for the week.
Yeah. Come back. Leave a comment about which one you played and why you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Or if you didn't enjoy it, you could let us know too. Again, I've only played Prism's Peak, so if you play a different one, I'd be curious why you didn't enjoy a different one. And V, you've only played the Echoes of Star Song, right? So
yeah,
they can tell us why maybe they didn't enjoy when they came before. It's fine. Fine, let us know.
Yeah, or why they did and why we should go back to 2015 and play the first one. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because those games have been coming out for a while. There's like 4 of them, 3 or 4.
Yeah, Prism Peak was the 4th one.
Right, that's what I thought. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, play them. Let us know in the comments, and then if you've made it this far, this is our thank you for joining us today. Don't forget, you can check out the weekly news podcast and check out our articles, including that review on Prism's Peak over on gamersocialclub.ca. And if you need more gamers to chat with, join the Discord. The link is in the description for this podcast, whether you're watching it in video format or whether you're listening on Spotify. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your gamer friends, share it with that person who's taking the Pragmata relationship way too serious and needs like someone to tell them like you need to calm down and relax. And if you're really, really feeling it, leave a comment on something that we did that you agreed with. And if you're listening on Spotify, leave that 5-star review. We would really appreciate it. And we will catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.